G'day, I'm Nick McArdle and welcome once again to RedsTV. This week we'll see how the Reds are shaping up ahead of their clash this weekend against the Brumbies. You can be certain Ewan McKenzie and his men will be pleased to be back on home turf. Tours to South Africa are always tough and it's obvious this one was no exception. The injury toll is long, but the Reds aren't about to use that as an excuse. You can be sure they'll still be aiming up each week and looking to take away at least 4 points. The Reds were hoping to get back on track against the Force in Perth, but it always loomed as a danger game, and it indeed turned out to be that way. Let's check out the action from the last stop on their 3-week tour.
After a terror trip to Africa, the Reds were determined to put in a strong performance against the Force, despite missing a host of stars. Sensing their opportunity to take down the reigning champions, the Force turned early pressure into points with this try to James Stannard. Despite the Queenslanders' best defensive efforts, the Force held a 21-0 lead on the tick of half-time, before prop James Slipper finally got the Reds on the board with his first ever try in Super Rugby. The Reds were looking to maintain momentum after the break, but Force reserve fly half Ben Seymour had other plans, finding the chalk to extend the home side's handy lead. But the Reds weren't going to lie down and fought back through veteran lock Van Humphreys, who charged over to score the Reds' second try of the match. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before Seymour was back in the thick of it, with this well-weighted kick sending winger Samu Wara over in the corner. The Force iced their bonus point victory and their third ever win over the Reds, with this try to number 8 Matt Hodgson. And surely it's becoming a trademark. For the third time this season, Reds winger Dom Schipperle broke free and crossed in the dying minutes of the match, again showing his never-say-die spirit. However, the consolation try didn't stop the Force taking revenge for their round 2 loss, walking away 45-19 victors.
Now, if you've been along to one of the Reds' home matches, you would have noticed the high-energy dance crew who make the stadium their own just before kick-off. RedsTV went behind the scenes this week to find out a little more about the PREDix dance crew, led by former Red Charlie Fetoia.
When a serious injury ended the playing career of former Queensland Reds centre Charlie Fetoia, he chose an alternative form of rehab, which later inspired him to give back to the community. So out of adversity rose an idea, which saw Charlie form the PREDix dance group.
At the end of 2009, I got a career-ending injury that kind of stopped me from playing, so as a form of rehab, I used dancing to kind of get my coordination back and put forward an idea of using the kids or getting community kids involved with more or less pre-game entertainment or halftime shows. So our youngest dancer's 8 and it goes up to around 18, 19, but the majority of the kids are from the south sides of Brisbane, so I hope this program or this platform is something that can help these kids achieve their dreams.
The community program engages local kids with the Reds through dance and makes them the stars of their favourite team's game day entertainment. Up to 100 kids from the South Brisbane community come together 3 times a week after school for practice, and only if their homework is up to date. PREDix have been performing at Reds home games for over a year and were an integral part of the Reds Super Rugby Championship. They also helped launch Queensland Rugby's new Rookies to Reds program by staging flash mobs around the Brisbane CBD.
Charlie's asked me to just come to a few dance practices, and I've gone down and watched the kids practice, and I actually really enjoy it. And I just go down there, see how the kids are after it, have a friendly chat with them, and they seem to get a kick out of it, and I enjoy my time down there. They're all really brilliant kids. They all really love dancing, and they all really love the Reds. So there's really not a better group of people to do these things than the kids themselves. The guys really enjoy it. We're doing it for a former teammate, Charlie, but like having the kids out there while you're warming up and all the music and they're dancing, it kind of like gives you that, I don't know, like an extra kick and get you started for the game.
So for what started as a form of rehab for Charlie has now turned into a great community program which engages school-age kids through sport through their passion of dance.
The young, largely unheralded Brumbies side weren't given much of a chance ahead of this year's Super Rugby season, but Jake White's men have shown some excellent early season form, highlighted by wins over the previously unbeaten Highlanders, and then last week they almost grabbed victory over the Sharks. It will be the Reds and Brumbies' first encounter for 2012, with 2011 resulting in a win each way, with a somewhat unexpected loss to the Reds at home. But the win in Canberra broke a 15-year drought in the national capital. Let's refresh the memory with a look back at the action from 2011.
After a brutal 3 weeks on the road, the St George Queensland Reds returned to Suncorp Stadium on Friday to host the Brumbies. While the boys from the capital are proving to be the surprise packages of the Australian Conference, the Reds will be keen to maintain their unbeaten run at the Fortress. The sides met twice last year, this try to Scott Higginbotham back in round 3, helping the Reds break a 16-year Canberra hoodoo. It was a different story when the sides met again in round 16. The Reds were looking for their 13th straight win at home, but that's when the Brumbies got their revenge. Despite Ben Lucas making his way over the line for this try, a strong defensive effort from the Brumbies saw them claim the 22-14 win and end the Reds' unbeaten run at Suncorp Stadium. Although a number of players remain on the sidelines for Friday's match, the Reds have a huge advantage and will gain an extra edge, with the Reds' army standing strong behind them.
I'd have to say Carl Heyman. I thought he was one of the world's greatest props, especially a tight end. Obviously had a very successful career at New Zealand, and I'd love to be able to play against him, and he's someone I really look up to.
Genia looks to the left and now gives it out to Slipper, and he got away from one. He's over the line. Try to the Reds. It paid off at long last.
I think it starts on the training field. I think this week has been so far a really good week of training. I think attitude's a big aspect that we have to bring. We have to obviously turn up at Suncorp and not only play for ourselves but for our fans. So I think attitude and putting the effort out on the training field will do it.
All Reds fans will be looking forward to seeing their team play at home. Visit Ticketek to get your tickets for the Reds and the Brumbies on Friday and help the team notch another win at home in 2012. It's the perfect start to Easter, and for those looking to have a beer, I can confirm the bar is open. Thanks again for joining me for another episode of Reds TV. Join me next week for more exclusive behind-the-scenes action. And don't forget, Twitter fans, send in your questions to @Reds_rugby. Best of luck to the Reds this weekend. I'm Nick McArdle. Catch you next week.
When greatness calls, we will respond.